Aloha, guys. Yes, it's Tuesday. It's not a different weird day or anything like y'all. It is a little weird day, but what can I say? I mentioned to a lot of you guys yesterday that I noticed Nancy Grace had done a interview with it, and there's the dogs. I knew they'd recognize pretty soon what was going on. Um, I had mentioned that she was doing an interview with Samara, who is actually Seraya, the 2-year old who went missing with Aaron and Nadia. Um, and I wanted to come back and watch all that with you guys. Well, it's not just that. We've now got a new updated, by the way, thank you, BC, for letting me know about this. A press conference update involving last week's Missing Mondays. So remember, I had told you initially I had planned on covering Nadia. And there was a 12-year-old girl that I read about last Monday, and her name's Maria. You can go back and watch that live. And as I was looking at them, both of them seemed so concerning to me. Okay, from the beginning, I was worried about Nadia. I mean, a gorgeous young woman disappearing from an airport. I mean, I was super concerned about her. And but then I came across this 12-year-old, okay, that nothing made sense. I mean, she all it does is scream out a child being lured, okay, or going out and trusting the wrong people. So I ended up covering her. And today, actually, we've got a press conference and we're going to go through that. However, we're going to go through both of them today. So it's going to be a little longer of a live. So stick with me. In the meantime, though, I do know it's going to take a few minutes. So I wanted to do two things. First, I'm going to say hi to some of you guys that are popping up in chat. And then some of you guys may, if you've ever been to Hawaii, you have seen the statue of King Kamehameha. You may have seen it in pictures before. King Kamehameha is the first leader who pulled all of the islands together as one kingdom. And we celebrate him today, every year. And today is the actual day. Over the weekend, we actually had the parade and stuff like that. And that parade is actually one of the parades you guys see at Christmas time. But it actually happens now. So I'm going to share a little bit, a 4-minute video in a few minutes with you guys before we go into the true crime updates. But I wanted to say some highs first, because first we had patriotism in chat. And yes, we are going live on a Tuesday. There's a lot going on. There's a lot, and there's other cases going on right now that are just, like I said, cases. It's almost like they come in these waves. And that's what's happening. We've hit another wave now, which is sad, but it's kind of what's going on here. So we are definitely going to go through there. And there is dear Chris. Hello, 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 Chris. And Chris has been sending me some of the newer cases too going on. It's just like, oh my gosh, yeah. How are you doing, my dear? Love you, love you, love you. Yes, the cat, dog's like, more treats, more. Give me more treats, please. Red Rock in the house. My dear Red Rock, every time I was just watching something where they were doing a lot of stuff from Red Rock Amphitheater. Just love going there when I lived in Denver back when I was a kid. Oh, I love going there. Marianne, welcome, 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 Marianne. I've got my AC off for a few. I had it on and it got cold, so it may go back on because it's getting hot. Thank you, Marianne. Like, share. Thank you for all. Oh, thank you, hon. Thank you. I had a talk with my mom actually earlier today. She did not quite understand what the word algorithm means. So she and I actually, while we were driving, I had some stitches taken out today. And I was able to explain to her just how much the sharing and all makes a difference with that algorithm. So thank you so much, my dear. It's been a long weekend, so I went, thank you, hon. Thank you. And you made a live, Mama Kay. Yes, she did. Oh, we got I like. Yes. And good afternoon, evening, morning, night, midnight, any of those. Someone may be seeing actually the Northern Lights somewhere. I hope sometime I get to see them. Hopefully this in about a month if they continue going on. We'll cross our fingers. So, but let's see. Okay, what I want to do while we're waiting for YouTube to get the word out, especially on a not so normal live for me, I wanted to share with you guys this. How many of you, BC is here. Hey, BC. And thank you for, we are definitely going to two things we're going to watch today. So like I said, it's going to be a little longer live because of that. And I know it's late. So those of you who have to catch replay, I get it, completely get it. But we are going to start off, after I show this little thing here, with the press conference for Maria, because guys, I think the police, listening to this press conference as I was driving, I think the police are really scared for her right now. I'm getting, very seldom do you get that distinct feeling like they're chomping at the bit because they are so worried about something. That's what I'm getting from this case. So I wanted to start off with hers as we get people in, give people a few minutes, and then we'll watch that. That one's shorter. That's only about 14 minutes long. And then we will go into watching together Nancy Grace's interview with Samara, who is Saraya's mom. So we can hear a little bit more. I did watch that, and there's some good information in there for sure. But first of all, what I wanted to share with you here is this. So many of you guys probably, if you've ever been to Hawaii or looked at video or anything like that, you may have seen this. Let me see if they have a picture of him here anywhere. Well, it's a picture of this Hawaiian king who has his hands out and it has leis on it. That's King Kamehameha. We celebrate King Kamehameha today. He actually, way back in 1795, he gathered all of the islands for the first time under one kingdom. Hawaii actually has the only actual palace in the United States, Iolani Palace. If anyone ever has a chance to go through it, it's the most amazing thing. But I wanted to share a few things. This is where King Kamehameha spent quite a bit of his time in Kona. So this is actually part of the Kona celebration that just happened. But while we're waiting for people to come in, I wanted to just share this with everyone, so that you guys, I know the Hawaiian culture means a lot to me. It always has. From the moment I moved here, it has. And it's something I like to share with you guys whenever I have a chance. I'm not Hawaiian. Okay, it's just someone who loves the culture, has learned so much from the culture, and I like to share it with other people. And so here we go. So what you're hearing is Hawaiian right there. So Hawaiian chanting, kids in the back there. That's King Kamehameha. So those of you, put a 1 in chat if you've ever seen the picture of King Kamehameha. And these are long leis. The leis are like 10, 20 feet long, probably more like 20, 25 feet long, depending on the statue. And there's actually videos of when they put them on at this time. Okay, they actually lift the leis up with two big poles, and they lift it, and then they put it over the lei. And it's agree completely on Maria. Not often a reward goes up that. Yes, exactly. And that's why I want to cover that one first. I know quite a few of you guys enjoy it when I share this stuff. So I thought with us celebrating today, it would be a good thing to do. And I'll give YouTube a few minutes to get notifications out. So we had on Saturday the big floral parade, which you guys will see on Thanksgiving, actually, I think it is. You guys see the big Hawaii floral parade? That's actually from this last weekend. And also, and I got stuck in the traffic, actually. I was picking up my auntie and cousin, and I could not figure out why the traffic was so bad. There we got Lima Leis. One of the things, okay, so these Pa'u riders, okay, they ride on the horses. They got the most gorgeous leis, and okay, the garment, okay, I don't know if they're called mu'u'us that they wear, or they might have another name for it. Does Hawaii have the only active volcano? Actively Erupting, yes. Um, Active as in can erupt? No. There are others on the mainland and Alaska that can, but Hawaii, basically, it's been erupting since I moved here. Okay, in fact, it just erupted the other day. We had it erupt again. And but the Hawaii volcano is always kind of different because they're not like Mount St. Helens. And it just, okay, you get all the really horrible disaster. It's a slower, it's just the because of the hot spot and how things are going, it actually the volcano moves with the plate tectonics. And thank you. You know, I try to come up with little things that I could do at times to help you guys share because it's the most amazing culture. I tell people, actually, if I could ever put together a Hawaii-based YouTube, okay, meet and greet, we'd do it in a heartbeat. It'd be so much fun. But music is definitely the way just someone's uncle dancing out there on the road. That's Hawaii. Okay, that's Hawaii for you. And that's the Daughters of Hawaii right there that you were looking at there in the white. Pretty sure that was. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was them. Yeah, and the Pa'u Riders. So if you look at any of the King Kamehameha Day parades, you'll just see the groups of the Pa'u Riders. Oh, it's the most amazing, gorgeous groups. Yeah, sitting side saddle usually. Now, this is Kona, like I said. There's others for the Big Island. What I should have done, Big Island, Oahu. Should have, if I had thought of it, we could have actually watched the whole parade together. But you can see there, the Spanish moss. How many of you guys have Spanish moss? We call it Pele's hair. But that was Pele's hair is Spanish moss. And they make leis out of it. And and many of you guys have Spanish moss outside, roses. One of these days, we are going to do a lei making live, where I give you guys a week or two to kind of look around your yard, find flowers in your yard. Greenery, maybe. Maybe you don't got flowers, but you got greenery. Okay, that was all that had. It wasn't much. Definitely wasn't much or anything like that. I'll show you real quickly since I'm sharing there. I'll just show you. This is the actual statue here on Oahu. It's a short that someone shared. This was actually on the 7th a few days ago, and shows you how they you can see the statue back there, and then putting those leis on. You don't get to see this often, very, very often at all, but on this one day every year, it's part of the ceremony and all. So lifting the leis up with the poles, and they'll walk towards and put them on his arm. And I used to actually, when I was doing my theater show, I drove by this every night. Every night I would drive by the statue. And right across the street is the palace, Iolani Palace. So there you go. So for those of you who've always wondered how did they get all those leis up there, that's how they do it. Every single one of them individually. And I should put a Hawaiian playlist together because that is genius. That's genius. I need to do that at this point. Definitely need to do that. So now that I've shared all that and we've kind of gotten as many notifications as we can get out through YouTube, and let's get going because this is going to take a little bit of time to get through. But rather than waiting until tomorrow or stuff like that, both of these cases, guys, have me extremely concerned. Okay, you can see up there in the corner right there. That's Maria, the 12-year-old I talked about last week. Okay, and guys, BC said it up here. Okay, agree with completely on Maria. Not often a reward goes up as quickly as this one has. Okay, this is a young 12-year-old who literally left her house and never returned. She had some friends / boyfriends who were up at 21. They've, I think, interviewed everyone, it sounds like. What concerns me, guys, is just how I think she trusts people. She's not from the US. She grew up trusting other people. And a lot of times that can get you in a very dangerous spot very quickly. My concern with her is, and BC and I were mentioning this earlier, they literally said during this press release that we're going to listen to, they make the comment about an Amber Alert, a Levi call, is how they word it there. Um, but the reason why they can't do that in this case, it's not that they don't want to. They want to. The problem is they don't have enough information to make it worthwhile. Because literally you'll hear it where they're like, yeah, we've got her description and the day she went missing. That's it. We don't have a picture or anything of what the other person looks like. We don't have a vehicle. We don't have anything. All we know is what she looks like, which could be any other person. So it really makes it hard. And that's scary. That is so scary that even the police are so worried and would love to put out an Amber Alert, but are being hindered by it because they don't have enough information to make it worthwhile. And so let me pull that one up. And then the next one I did want to address next, of course, is Seraya, the 2-year-old Seraya we talked about yesterday, and Nadia and Aaron, the 21-year-olds. Let me just real quickly. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. What words? Hey, Butterfly Kisses. How you doing, my dear? Thank you for all your help too, my dear. And the reason why this one we're going to watch when after we finish this, and the reason why I'm really worried with Saraya, Nadia, and Aaron, guys, this is a custody case where they've run off with the 2-year-old. But what is chilling me to the bone is we are now being told they are in most likely Mexico. We don't know for sure. There's been so many left. Even the police are like, yeah, we know we've seen this, but we're still looking everywhere else because we don't know if they could be somewhere else now. My biggest concern is this, and I mentioned this yesterday. Okay, if you go back and you look at the three of them up in the corner there, Mexico. Recently, how many people have been killed in Mexico? Tourists have been killed in Mexico. You've got a young man here with what could arguably be gold in a trafficker's hands. Not once, but twice. You've got Nadia at 21 years old, blonde, blue-eyed, gorgeous. Okay, she in Mexico is in danger right now, especially if they're hiding and trying to stay, okay, without people knowing where they are and doing everything underground. You've got Saraya, a 2-year-old baby. Again, gold in a trafficker's hands. After we have lost so many people, okay, killed, okay, in Mexico, who's to say that any of these three are safe at this point? Okay, put aside the fact that they never should go taking a child away from their parents. They have no right to do that and all that. Put all that stuff aside. All three of them are in freaking danger right now and need to get home and get safe. Plain and simple. So we're going to get to that. However, I just saw a couple more people come in. I was hoping they were in Canada too. Red Rock, with where they were location wise, I was hoping that's the direction they were going. From the sound of it, it sounds like people saw the actual catalog going in that direction. It's not proof that they were in it, but that's the thought. And Rowdy is here. Hello, 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 Rowdy. And it's PJ. How you doing, PJ? By the way, thanks for sharing. Thank you so much, my dear. And yeah, PJ, I was telling everyone earlier, it's so weird that all the cases they seem to go, we get like tons of cases and then nothing for a while, and unfortunately, it seems like we're getting tons of cases again. And these are the times we need to get the word out. And so thank you for all you're doing with that too. So let's go ahead. I want to start with Maria. because Maria is not getting, well, neither of these are getting a lot of attention, but Maria seems to be getting even less attention than the other two at this point. So I want to make sure they get the attention. Okay, so for those of you who remember, we talked about Maria a week and a half ago now, almost. Okay, she went missing in her small little town in Georgia, I think it was. And they finally had, at first, the thought process behind this is no one was really, you know how communities feel like no one's doing anything about any, okay, disappearances and all that. That's what the thought process was in this case. No one's doing anything. The community was out there. There was only one TV channel doing any coverage on Maria whatsoever. And then all of a sudden you had um, community pushing and pushing and pushing. And like it happens, if you get the media covering and all, then you get a lot more coverage happening. And that's what happened in this case. Okay, next thing you knew, and when you hear on this, the number of people involved in this case now, guys, they're scared.
To everybody for coming out this afternoon.
Here we go. Let me.
And helping to spread the.
Sorry, not sure if that was loud enough or if it was just my earbuds or not, but it seems awful low. Let me pull this up a little bit. So, yep, together we can. Together we can bring them home. Together we can be their voice. Together, yeah, that's it. Exactly. Okay, let me try that again.
Word about
much better.
The disappearance of Maria Gomez-Perez. On Thursday, May 30th, 12-year-old Maria Gomez-Perez was reported missing to our agency. That report set into motion a large law enforcement and community effort to find Maria. We are all doing everything within our power to bring Maria home safe and sound. And make no mistake,
Here's Maria.
The men and women of
Maria's
the Sheriff's Office and numerous other agencies have Maria's image burned in our hearts and into our minds. In the next few minutes, I hope to accomplish the following. First, I want to share with you information about who all was involved in this investigation and a little about the sheer size of the team working to find Maria. Next, I will talk about...
Real quickly, it just dawned on me. I'm going to share this with you guys and then we'll go back to that in a second. This is Maria's picture. This is her poster. We've got a couple more pictures of her now. Not many, but we got a couple more. It is from Gainesville, Georgia. Okay, 12-year-old, 5'3", between 100 and 110 pounds, long black hair, brown eyes. It's not much known about her, but I wanted to bring up her poster real quickly first. And let's go back to this now.
What this team has done since the initial missing report, while still protecting the integrity of the investigation. And after that, I'll address frequently asked questions as well as ways that people can help in this case. And to wrap it up, then I'll take a few questions at the very end.
They did a great job with this.
The who. To say that there are many people involved in the effort to bring Maria home is an understatement. The Hall County Sheriff's Office is the 4th largest full-service sheriff's office in the state of Georgia. That includes our Criminal Investigations Bureau, which is made up of approximately 50 team members. All of them, all 50 have touched this case in some form. Most of them have worked double time since Maria was initially reported missing. These include not only our Crimes Against Persons section, but the Special Investigations Unit, our Intelligence Unit, and also our Crime Scene Unit. And additionally, our Patrol Division, our K-9 Unit, our Warrant Service Unit, our administrative staff, and our court service deputies have been involved in this effort to locate her. To our team, I want to say that your tireless work is greatly appreciated, and I'm proud of each and every one of you. Our team is talented, it's experienced, and it's driven, but Maria deserves all of the help that can be provided. To that end, other law enforcement agencies have offered their assistance, and I have welcomed them to our investigation with gratefulness. Men and women of the following agencies and entities have offered invaluable help.
And this was where the community wanted people to come in and help out with this. And they really came out full force.
And they continue to work with our people here at the Hall County Sheriff's Office. Those agencies are the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Gainesville Police Department, U.S. Homeland Security Investigations, and also the Consulate General of Guatemala in Atlanta.
Now you're hearing Guatemala brought up there, and sorry to interrupt it on this one again here. Her family okay, is not from the US. And because of that, you do have language differences. You have concerns. Okay, could she have gone back home? Could someone else have taken her back there? Could someone from there have come over here and grabbed her? Things like that. A lot of different things in play, a lot of different potentials. And that's the problem. There are so many things that could be going on with this. Chris, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Tremendous effort from our community groups, business, and individuals across our county. Just on the investigator front, the FBI has provided a dozen personnel, Homeland Security contributed 6 agents, and GBI gave us 4 agents, bringing the total number of investigators on this case to roughly 70 people, including several intelligence analysts. And if I've missed out anyone, investigator or otherwise, I apologize in advance to everyone involved from all of these agencies. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now to the what. Without jeopardizing the work we've already done, I want to outline what type of efforts we've put into action over the last several days. Early on, we began.
No, this one does not have a custody thing. Family is all here, and in fact, they have interviewed everyone involved in this case. They've also not only interviewed them, they brought people in who spoke Guatemalan just to make sure that they're getting everything covered correctly. Um, this is the problem that happened in this case is, again, like always, 12-year-old. 12-year-old goes missing from a small town like this. And hey, sleuth mom, love you, my dear. Love you. 12-year-old goes missing. What's the first thing we tend to hear? You guys can type it in chat. Okay, it starts with an R. First thing everyone pops up with, okay, is, oh, they ran away. They'll be back. Give it a couple days. And no, you don't give it a couple days. That was part of the problem, I think, that a lot of locals were seeing in this case is that they were not taking it as serious as it needed to be taken from what they could see. Now, do we know that for sure? No, we don't, because a lot of times, like you're hearing here, people get involved in a lot of this involvement happens behind the scenes, and they may not be telling us about it. So we got to be open to that. And but they've talked to the whole everyone within the family. Okay, she went out, she's walking down the street, disappears. And
And disseminating our tip line and the email address that we have for information. Since publicizing this contact information, we have received approximately 50.
That's my concern, Red Rock. Right there. That's my concern. Yo, gosh. Okay, I'll take a look for all that stuff in a bit also. Thank you. Oh. Like I say, when the updates start, they just start. Yeah, it's just one after another. Back with that, Red Rock, that's been my concern. There was some rumor that one of her friends slash even boyfriend was a 21-year-old that she was communicating with online. Um, it screams luring to me. Whether it was with him, okay. I suspect he's been cleaned and all cleared and all that. Hey, Andrew, welcome, Andrew. Um, but what gets me is my suspicion is her coming here. She may not see danger in the same way that a child who has been raised in the country sees danger. Social media, okay, to someone from Guatemala versus someone from, okay, Gainesville, Georgia, totally different focus on social media. She may very much be more trusting of people that are older than her. And that becomes I was saying that a week ago, that she may go out there, even if it was a runaway type situation, she may be trusting these older people, these older gentlemen, women, whatever, because we know women lure too. Okay, women will do okay, a lot of times there are females involved in the trafficking trade. And so when you have that sense of trust and you're trying to lean on someone, okay, for safety or whatever happens, you're set. And I honestly think This is what they are thinking. I think their concern is she has either been lured away or trafficked. I think that's their concern right now. And that's me, completely me. But yeah, that's what sleuth mom. These kids are at so much risk anymore. There's too many with free access to social media. Yeah, and that's it. Okay. Oh wow. Girl, 13-year-old girl with an abductor 38. And that's it. That's the thing.
50 tips,
Gosh.
including the total, bring the total tips nearly to 70. Each one has
That was good. Okay, what he was saying, sorry, I interrupted it on that. In the bushes. How you doing, my dear? Um, they were talking about tips. Ever since they got the hotline going, there have been an increase in tips up to 70, which is good because initially, when I reported a week ago, a little over a week ago, there were literally two tips. Two tips. Now they're up to 70. Each of those tips is being looked at, and that's good. And any one of those could lead them in the right direction.
been thoroughly examined and acted upon, and we ask that the community continue to use this number and this contact information that's located on the bottom of the flyer on the screen beside me as well. If they have any information whatsoever to let us know. Our team and other investigators have physically been on scene at Maria's residence on numerous occasions, starting the day she was reported missing. The latest search there happened over this past weekend and included the aforementioned FBI agents. Work at the home has included interviews, forensic examinations, electronics, and canines, which were used to search the area completely and thoroughly. Speaking of interviews, our team and other law enforcement has interviewed everyone who lives in Maria's home, including her father, and all of whom we believe to be from Guatemala. Individuals with a Guatemalan consulate and the FBI who know the dialect that these individuals speak have assisted us with those interviews. Our team and other law enforcement has also interviewed school officials, Maria's friends, several of her social media friends, as well as neighbors. And speaking of neighbors, in the neighborhood, our team has canvassed the area, which means going door to door and speaking with every individual that lives there.
They're working their butt off now. Okay, I don't know where it was at the beginning, but they're definitely working. I think that's because they're realizing that runaway word is not always what things are. And hey there, Roberta, and hello, Andrew, and
Asking for information. Many have asked us about searches, and well, I'll cover that a little more at the end here, but we have conducted targeted ground searches, and we have involved canines, and we've utilized our drone team, which is also trained in extensive searches. Additionally, we used our marine unit boat to search portions of Lake Lanier. Our team will continue to use searches when they are appropriate to the information that we receive. On the technology front, investigators have seized numerous phones during their work, and data from these phones has been downloaded, and intelligence unit members continue to process that information. Leads already generated with the data are being explored. Additionally, investigators from our agency, as well as from the GBI and the FBI and Homeland Security, have done extensive amount of work on social media, examining and reviewing Maria's online acquaintances, their friends, and anyone she has associated with. The FBI has also assisted with numerous out-of-state leads as well. Several people have mentioned cameras in the area of her home, and that's society, we have cameras everywhere now. But all known video footage of any plausible value in the case have been downloaded and they have been reviewed. If anyone has video and has not provided that to us, we would ask that they would do so immediately.
you know what I like at what they're doing here? This is the first, I think this is their first, unless and if I'm wrong, let me know if anyone else has seen anything else. Their first real press conference on this. And what I appreciate is they're addressing all of the questions that, okay, everyone out in social media land comes up with. Okay, well, have they checked all the cameras? Have they done this? Have they done that? Have they done the searches? Have they, all the things that, you know what, we all are like, yeah, duh, of course they've done those things, but they're addressing them. They're not leaving it up to us. So many times you will see where those things are left off because they're kind of expected. Oh, of course they've done technology. Okay, looked at technology. Of course they've checked video cameras and all that. But they're addressing it and also giving a way for people to follow up. So they're turning something that the internet is throwing out there left and right, saying, hey, do this, do this, do this, and saying, yeah, we've done it. But you know what? If there's more stuff out there, please send it our way. And that I appreciate.
Our team has worked extensively on getting the word out of Maria's disappearance, along with our community partners. Our agency has provided approximately 5,000 flyers or posters to individuals and groups willing to hand them out and post them. We have posted the same information in a variety of forms on our social media accounts and websites over the past several days. Our team has placed 4 traffic message boards on heavily traveled roads in Hall County with information on Maria's disappearance. Our community and business partners have expedited public service announcements promoting the search for Maria on 3 digital billboards across the county.
Awesome.
We also reported Maria's case to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they have featured her story on its various channels. So some of the commonly asked questions and how can people help? We'll cover that. I've addressed most of the common questions that we've received about the investigation, but I want to elaborate further on one, and that is searches. I believe what many are referring to when it comes to searches is a grid pattern search. As addressed last week in the community meeting, this is the type of search where an area is sectioned off and a group of people walk the area in specific lines or a grid, searching for someone or evidence. These type of searches are for instances where you have a defined area, you believe the individual or something suspicious is in. We do not have those conditions in this investigation at this point in time. When and if that situation develops, be assured that we have the personnel and we have the resources and we have the community partners that are ready to go at a moment's notice.
Definitely have community. Wow, do they have
We
community?
understand that cases like this can leave the community very unsettled, wanting to do anything it can to help. First and foremost, let us remember Maria and the folks working diligently to bring her home in your thoughts and your prayers. What we need most is for you to continue to spread the word and share accurate information about the investigation and contact avenues for tips. That information is on the flyer behind me, which can be downloaded at the top of the Sheriff's Office page on hallcounty.org, and it can also be downloaded at the top of the Hall County Sheriff's Office.org webpage. Anyone with information on Maria's whereabouts can use the information on that flyer to reach us. You can remain anonymous, but we definitely want information. Please remember that the $20,000 reward for information leading to is for Maria's safe return home.
And that's what BC was addressing earlier. $20,000 this quickly. Okay, that's not something that you see happen real quick. Usually you get like a 5,000, something like that, maybe a 10,000 or whatever, but they know in this case, chances are it's going to have to take someone who knows something, and that person's going to have a reason to speak. And money is often that reason. And so we'll have to see what happens within that. Let's see. That is Mike King's suggestion to all. He believes social media given a sign, and it makes sense. Social media wants to help. In general, the majority of social media wants to help. They don't want to hinder. They want to help. I have to believe that. Yes, I know there's assholes out there. Okay, but in general, they want to help, but they don't know the best way to do it. Okay. Is that at Red Rocks? I was wondering whether or not, because I do know the community in this case has been amazing. I mean, they've come together and walked the roads together. They're doing all this. Okay, very, very. It's been about a week since I've in depth looked at this, so I couldn't remember exactly where everything came from. But this community has banded together, okay, to make sure that they can find her. Plus, just so you know, the area she went missing from is very close to a highway. Again, another reason for the concerns here.
We again thank the anonymous donors who stepped forward with generosity to make that happen. I was a bit overwhelmed with the phone calls that I received and the amount of that reward that these people are willing to give. And that shows the caring of our community and the love that people have for each other here.
Yep.
Someone out in the community has that one bit of information that is valuable to us, but they need to come forward. And that could be the key to breaking this case wide open and locating Maria. I urge everyone who might have information about Maria's disappearance to reach out to our investigators and share what they have. We remain diligent and dedicated to finding and bringing Maria home safely. I'll open
Gainesville,
it now for a few
Georgia.
questions, but keep in mind that there's some questions that I can answer and then some that I can't or won't, because I will not jeopardize this investigation, and I know each of you don't want that to happen as well.
Exactly.
So bear with me when if I say I can't answer a question for you. Okay? We'll open it up. Well, initially we did. I think she may have, this is a possibility, that she may have come in contact with someone that she did make contact with to leave that day from her house. Identifying that person and trying to find out who that is and where they went, there's the key to it. And so that's why we're looking at all the phones that we have collected and all that data and closely examining every bit of it. So I'm very hopeful that we will be able to.
Yeah, there's a good chance. I don't know what that chance is percentage-wise, but there is just as good of a chance, if not more of a chance, that somewhere in one of those phones or iPods or computers or whatever they're looking at, they've got that person who actually started this whole thing. Okay, whether that person contacted someone else or whatever happened. Yes, there is a very, very possible chance here that it was a complete stranger too. Very, very high chance. But my gut is saying she was talking to someone.
To maybe give you more information as we go along. So we're staying very positive in this investigation that we will locate information that we need.
At this point, do you believe she's in danger?
Well, she's 12 years old, and she's been gone a week and a half, so that kind of answers your question. You know, I mean, she's a child, and to be gone that long, that's a serious issue. And, you know, so there's so many possibilities where she could be and what could have happened to her. And so we're exploring every single avenue that we possibly can. But yes, I do consider her in danger, very much so.
Yep.
Judge, course, the investigator, they believe she's still in the country?
Well, you know, at this point, anything's possible, but we're searching out all avenues, especially going outside the state of Georgia. You know, we've got the Federal Bureau of Investigation, their assistance, and also Homeland Security. So alerts have gone out.
And even younger, if you look at the fact, I keep meaning to check when did they move to America? Because that also does affect, I don't want to say maturity per se, but the social side of dealing with things. Okay. There's definitely, hey, Tim, how you doing, my dear? Welcome, welcome. I mean, if she's coming, when you get someone who's coming from another country, especially another country that is not quite as boom, boom, boom all over the place, or where you got to have, okay, boundaries up all the time and stuff like that, it affects that. Maturity is not the right word for it, but it affects your street smarts. She probably doesn't have the same street smarts as, say, many of the other children 12-year-olds you would see around here. So she's young to begin with. You add that on to everything, she's even younger.
Across the board. So if she were in fact to leave and go to another state or out of the country, hopefully we'll be able to uncover that information and
really
find out where she is. So,
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take one more question.
Big concern for the Latino community has always been is the Levi or the Amber.
So here is where we're going into the thing about the Levi call. Okay, in Georgia, instead of being called an Amber Alert, it's a Levi's call. Okay, Levi call. And this is what I was alluding to in discussions. BC and I were talking about it and all that. That why is there no Amber Alert Levi call in this case? And we get the answer that just breaks my heart.
Would you be able to elaborate why was it implemented in a timely fashion?
well, I know a lot of people have asked that, and you know, of course, we give the answer. Well, it didn't meet the criteria that the GBI has. But I'll break it down to something a little more simple. Okay, so we know Maria's name. We know that she's a Hispanic female. She's 12 years old. We know she's 5'3", and we know she's 110 to 100 to 110 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. So if we put out that description on a Levi's call, or Amber Alert, which is known
Horrible,
nationally.
but true.
That's pretty generic information, right? So we don't have a car description, we don't have a tag number, we don't have, who she may have left with. Those are the things that actually is crucial to going into a Levi's call or an Amber Alert. Now, what we have done is, in conjunction with the GBI and the FBI, we've done a media blitz where we put out all the information to all of you, and we've got it on every single source that you can think of. It's been on national news, on Fox News, and CNN. We've got it on the National Center for Exploited and Missing Children. I mean, we've covered all the bases. So
Yeah.
the word's out there. Just coming in this morning on the route that I took to the office, I saw 5 different posters with Maria's picture on it, just on my route that I came in. So
That's
the word's
because of
out
the
there. Her
neighborhood.
description's out there. Her photograph, that's important. Her photograph's out there. So hopefully that'll, somebody will come forward that they saw her wherever, and so that we can follow up.
Will you
But
continue checking the house where Maria was living with those people?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Checking the house.
Would you continue checking the house where Maria was living?
Yes, we've been there several times to that residence, and we've, as I said earlier, we collected a lot of cell phones and other forensic evidence that we're sorting through right now. A lot of that I can't go into detail about at this time, but as soon as we were able to develop anything substantial that we can give to you in the press about any information, we will definitely do so and disseminate that to you. I assure you
But
that.
she is not the only girl missing in Harmon, because yesterday I received a call from a Hispanic mother too. She told me her daughter is from 16 years old, was missing 6 November. Any idea about other cases?
Well, in each case is individual and different, and I'm going to tell you, I've been doing
Be prepared for this one, because good on this reporter for bringing this up, because he got a phone call from, if you couldn't hear what was being said, he got a phone call from a mom of a 16-year-old. So I guarantee you, one of those that gets thrown into the runaway pile. Okay. And the mom is like, since what, November 6th, she's been missing. And so we're over 6 months now, and longer than that now. And so it's like, well, you know what? Maria's not the only one missing. There are other missing children in the area. Okay. Does it mean they're connected? No, it doesn't. But it means we need to figure out other ways of getting the word out about things, because some of them, just because, again, just like Maria, just because of the age does not mean they're necessarily runaways. So it's interesting. He does kind of get into some of the discussion here about runaway.
this for 42 years, and when school gets out, every single year you'll see some kids that either run away or become missing or what have you, for a variety of reasons, and each case is unique and upon itself, so you have to look at each case individually. There's a lot
That's
of
true.
troubled homes out there. A lot of people, and kids, they get involved in things that they shouldn't. And not saying that's what this case is about, but when you're talking about a broad general thing of where you have children that are runaways or missing, then there's a lot of variables there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank
It's
you
an
very much for
interesting
coming.
discussion
Thank you.
that he approached there. Okay, this one is something he said he would just follow up with them. It was kind of hard to hear the whole thing, but it was something they talked to that person off camera on that. But I found it very interesting how they did start addressing that issue and recognizing that, yes, runaway was thrown in there as a word, which was interesting. But they did also point out the fact that, yeah, a lot of times it is because of the family situation they're in. Okay, families that may not be, not all the time. And that's the problem when you hit this age range. It's not always bad family, or sometimes it's wonderful family. The child's just going through a lot. Could be mental health issues going on. Could be getting in with a different group of friends, or a friend that does not have the best of thoughts behind what they're doing. There's so much there. And yes, exactly, Red Rock. It's an understatement that he's putting there. It's the start of a bigger discussion that unfortunately is not happening anywhere. That's the problem. Okay, he's said it himself, 42 years, and it happens every year, he says. Well, then what needs to be happening there? What do we need to be looking at, whether it's in the schooling system, okay, family support programs, all sorts of stuff can be looked at there. So, but real quickly before we move on, just want to pull this one back up. Sorry, there we go. And also, this was Maria. Okay, the poster I've put together for her. So she is out there. I think she's out there and can still. Okay, there's definitely hope in this case, gang. Okay, we talk about cases where you feel hope still in you. Okay, versus those that when you cross those lines, she's out there. She's out there. I can't help but think that. The problem is being out there is dangerous right now because God knows what could be happening out there. So we need to get the word out, share her information out as much as possible. And so now what we're going to move on to next is this. This is Seraya. We talked about Seraya, okay, and the other two, Nadia and Aaron, yesterday. At the time, while we were talking about it, I was saying that I had heard that there was an interview of Samara, who is Saraya's mom, by Nancy Grace. That video is out, and I thought what we could do is go through it because there is definitely some new information in it. Yeah, definitely. Okay, there was a lot of coordination to make this happen. A lot of coordination for little Soraya to go missing. Now, for those of you who may not remember or were not able to watch yesterday yet, okay, I almost covered, okay, the blonde haired 21-year-old that you see in the picture to the side here. She and Maria, I found out about the same time. Maria, just there was something about it that scared the hell out of me, and I wanted to cover that immediately. And hello, Lioness, how you doing, my dear? What had just a real quick rundown, then we're going to go back to it. Basically, what had happened was Nadia, the 21-year-old blonde hair, blue eyed girl from Washington State, just graduated from Washington State University. She's getting ready to sit for her LSATs this summer. She was heading to Italy on vacation with her mom. She got up while they were sitting at the gate and said, "I'm running to the bathroom real quick." She never came back. She left her phone, everything there. Everyone got worried because they thought maybe she had been trafficked. We later on found out here these pictures showed up of her getting onto the link, which is the light rail system there. And she left the airport and headed down towards the university station before she's seen walking away. Okay, a couple days later, we find out that her fiance, Aaron, the guy you see in this picture, Aaron actually never showed up to hand his daughter over to her mother. They share 50-50. That never happened. And also now what we have is what started off as two different cases have become one case. My concern, as I've said before, okay, first of all, this little girl has medical issues going on top of everything else. She has a very, very severe case of constipation that has led doctors to believing that she could become septic if she is not getting the care and not able to treat it in the way it needs to be done. This was super well planned, super, super well planned. Exactly, Roberta. And what scares me right now is I don't know what's all been done. Okay, did Aaron sit there and tell people things which made people believe stuff? Okay, I don't know about all that. Okay, all I know is a 2-year-old needs to be back with her mom right now. And number two, if these people are in Mexico, which we're hearing, all three of them are in danger right now. Okay, I don't know. Let me know in chat. Do you guys think I'm off base when I come up with a little speculation thing that I'm working on? And I know it's all speculation, guys. But to me, all I've heard about recently is about murders in Mexico with tourists. And I look at these three people here, and all I can get in my head is they are trying to stay underground right now in Mexico, potentially. Okay. The only place that they're not going to stick out like a sore thumb is a tourist destination. Nadia is going to, unless she has dyed her hair black, which is very possible, they could stick out like a sore thumb. But in my nightmares, what I see is the three of them together and someone seeing Nadia and Maria as gold, as trafficking. 2-year-old baby, a gorgeous young 21-year-old woman. Okay, Aaron very quickly could find himself threatened. Okay, and even, I hate to say it, killed. And as part of something that's happened. And I don't know, but it's just something I can't get out of my mind. And that's why we got to get this out. And we've got to find them. And if they're out there listening to anyone's videos or anything like that, guys, this is dangerous right now. Okay, and this little one, yeah, it's terrible in Mexico right now. Okay, it's really, really dangerous right now over there. I've been to Mexico a couple times. I'm born in Texas, and but it's really dangerous right now. So let me go ahead. We're going to sit here. Let me ask real quickly while I'm pulling it up. Put a 1 in chat if you have seen the Nancy Grace interview. Put a 2 in chat if you have not seen it. So 2 is for no, 1 is for yes. And let me pull this up real quick so we can start going through that. I just want to see what you guys have to say about all this. And let me quickly switch. Okay, so we got a lot of no's. So we're all going to be watching it. I kind of did. I was listening in as I was driving home. So I'm a kind of 1.5. And also, awesome. Okay, so we're going to do this. This start of this is absolutely, this girl is, she's adorable. She's beyond adorable right now. And also, okay, let's go ahead. I did put it on 1.25, so hopefully, because it is 44 minutes long, 43 minutes long, so we'll see how this goes real quick. So here we go. It's a dinosaur. It's adorable. Oh, you guys can't see it. Okay, what's going? Oh, that's why I'm sharing the wrong thing. What the hell did I just share? I shared your guys' screen. That's what I did. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You are awesome, girl. You are awesome. Let me see. Okay, this time it's the right one. Thank you, guys. I'm going to take us back just a tad so you can see the adorableness. Okay, because it is freaking adorable. And thank you, Butterfly. Thank you so much. I was kind of focusing on something else going on, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. There we go.
Oh, you gave the dinosaur a kiss. You're running a dinosaur.
Can you imagine the
absolutely
anguish
adorable.
of Soraya's mother? Suddenly, her daughter is gone. Thank you for being with us tonight. We are on the search for a 2-year-old little tot girl. Let me give you the tip line right off the top. 509-334-0802. Repeat, 509-334-0802. Also, an 800 number, 800-225-5324. 800-225-5324. Look at this little girl.
She is absolutely
Can
adorable.
you imagine all of your love, all of your energy, all of your money, your hopes, your dreams poured in to this little girl, and now, bam, she's gone? Where is Seraya? Listen.
Yeah, that's me.
June 3rd, Samara Harmon drives to the exchange location to pick up daughter Seraya from her father, Aaron Ong. When Aung hasn't arrived 30 minutes later, Harmon starts to worry. Aung isn't answering her calls or texts. Harmon reaches out to Aung's parents, who inform her that Aung planned to take Seraya camping at Flathead Lake, Montana for the week. Harmon discovers Aung's fiance is also unaccounted for and immediately reports her daughter missing.
Okay, right there, everything is sideways. Joining me an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now, but first, to a very special...
That gets it for me right there. Just the fact that mom, okay, I'm not sure how many of you guys have been following this, but mom literally would do the trade-off at the police station. Okay, I remember, those of you who have shared custody, don't you usually have to let a family member know, that the other parent know, if you're going to take them out of state? And literally all of a sudden we find out that mom didn't even know that supposedly her daughter was being taken to another state for a fishing trip. It makes no sense whatsoever to me.
Guest joining us. This is Soraya's mom.
I don't think they were ever there, to be
Samara
honest.
Harmon. Miss Harmon, thank you for being with us.
Of course.
Miss Harmon, tell me about the moment you discovered your daughter is missing.
I was sitting in the police station. They were waiting
Got
for
it, my dear.
hopefully her and her father to show up for a custodial exchange, like we had every time we had one in front of the police station, to which he did not show up.
So you were sitting in a car or in a van or inside the station. Where were you?
I was inside the station.
Okay, was that normal? Did you normally go inside to swap off?
I normally do, yes, because I myself don't have a personal vehicle. So unless I had a ride given to me by a family member or a friend, I would often wait inside with Seraya or for her.
So cute.
How often did you let Seraya be with her dad?
We had a 5-5-2-2 schedule. So I would have her for 5 days, he would have her for 5, then I would have her for 2, and he would have her for 2. It was 50-50 custody.
Okay. How long had that custody agreement been enforced?
It took place around August of 2023, so since then.
So not even a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Question regarding the swap off. How would Seraya act when she would come back to you from being with her father?
Just so before we get to that, just to give you guys some of the earlier time frames. Okay, Seraya was born in May of 2022. Her parents separated in January of 2023. The custody case started in February 7th of 2023, so right the next month. Okay, in August, they had the 50-50 setup. The 5 days for one, 5 days for the other, 2 days for one, 2 days for the other. Repeat. Okay, after that, really there wasn't much that happened until November of last year, 2023, when Nadia and Aaron were engaged. And so those are some of the big dates, just so you guys know, that aren't quite gone over here.
Super excited. She would often reach out for me. Sometimes when he would walk with her, she would let go of his hand and run to me. She was always really excited to see me. Unless she wasn't feeling well, then sometimes she would be a little bit more calm and nonchalant, but she was still always very excited to be reunited with me.
Had there been any issues? I know she's only 2 years old. I'm not sure how much she could communicate with you. Were there any issues with her going to her dad's?
Not that she told me. The only ones I'd seen were the little interactions we had when I handed her off, when she would kick and scream and cry and fight or ask for me when going with him or a family member of his.
Do you know why she did that?
I don't know. No, but I know it broke my heart every time.
I'm sure.
Miss Harmon.
I am going to say this here. Mom and I were actually listening to this as we were driving to the our appointment. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this, because I'm always interested. It sounds like mom and her had a great relationship. We're kind of learning a little here that maybe it wasn't on the other side, but on the other side, 2 years old, anyone who's had a 2-year-old knows that kids go through their attachment times, okay, where they're mommy's girl or daddy's girl or boy or whatever. So from what I'm hearing here, we really don't know what happened. It doesn't look, one thing I can tell you, it does not look from what I've seen so far that there were ever any concerns about either side not caring for the child when they were there. Okay. Mom was a wonderful mother. There were no reports of abuse or anything like that. Same with dad, nothing there. Okay. Definitely seems like there was some control things on dad's side and all, but nothing really, as mom said, nothing like she was like, oh yeah, I was really worried about an abuse type thing. Now at 2 years old, how much could she tell us? We don't know that either, though.
Again, I want to thank you for being with us. And I'm just imagining if I had to give my twins over and be away from them for 5 days, then 2 days, then 5 days, then 2 days, that in itself would be hell for me to be away from them, much less when they cry and literally kick and scream when they're taken away from me. I don't, how do you do that? I mean, how do you keep going?
I just keep her and all of my thoughts and just know that she's too little to understand and that it's important for her to see both parents. That's what the courts agreed, just staying with that, and just hoping and praying that even if she's upset in that moment that she calms down and she enjoys her time with her father. It's that in and of itself has been really, really hard, like you were saying.
But she is understand. Yeah.
When did the girlfriend get in the picture?
I don't know the exact date they got together. I know I first heard about it about 10 or so months ago.
Okay, now wait a minute. How long have you guys been separated?
Since January of 2023.
Okay, January to January, that's not that long. So was your husband seeing this woman, Nadia Cole, before
So we were never
you guys
married.
divorced?
We were never married,
Okay.
but I'm not certain if he was seeing her beforehand or not. I don't know that.
Okay, and you're right, Miss Harmon, that's neither here nor there. Did you ever meet this woman, Nadia Cole?
No, not officially.
What did you know about her? Did your daughter, did Seraya ever tell you about her, anything about her?
So I didn't know about her name until the day I discovered my daughter was missing, but in hindsight, I do recall my daughter saying she missed Nada, which I can only assume meant Nadia.
So your daughter liked Nadia?
As far as I know, yes.
So that's one good thing with this. You know me, I'm always looking for possible good in things rather than just horrible all the time. The one thing I can tell you, when I was researching Nadia, when we thought she had potentially disappeared, missing level type, okay, and there were the concerns on that at that time for a few days, everyone I read about who was talking about Nadia talked about how amazing she was. Okay, her family, how tight everyone was. Okay, how she was with school and how she was focused and okay, all the future ahead of her, her friends and her family who loved her and all. There was definitely this when I first heard about these two cases meshing like this now, it made no sense to me whatsoever. It does feel good, at least, or feel as a positive thing, that it sounds like Seraya liked Nadia. So that's good. Hopefully, wherever they are right now, Seraya just thinks it's a vacation. That's all you can hope for right now. And and hope they get home soon. And but knowing that when she said it was like, oh, I miss Nada, it's like, okay, that's good. There is some level of a relationship there. And yeah, that was me, Roberta. Okay, I remember when my brother, okay, I don't have kids of my own, but my brother, okay, has gone through 2 marriages. Well, he's in his second marriage. And both of them, the second marriage, both of them had children from a previous marriage. And they had to meet, okay, and at least know a little bit about each other. that threw me for a loop when it was like, whoa, you didn't even know. And when she mentioned she knew her about her for about the last 10 months, my gut is saying she probably found out about her right about the time they got engaged. So that means they were probably dating for a while, and Aaron did not tell his ex-girlfriend or the okay, baby mama, whatever you want to say, did not want to say anything to her about, okay, Nadia, until it was like, oh, we're getting engaged, so I'm going to let her know about her. So it's what amazes me is how Nadia has totally, and we don't know the whole story. There may be a lot more to this that we don't understand yet. Okay, involved between, okay, Nadia and Aaron. There could be a whole hell of a lot more out there that we don't know yet. But if it's the way it's looking right now, this was a woman with so much potential. She's never going to get into law school now. I mean, you think she's going to become a lawyer at this point? You think anyone's going to? No. That whole thing is, all that is gone right now. And I just don't know someone who has that type of thought process in their head. Why would they take this step? And they need to get this baby home. That's where she's safe right now. They need to get her home, plain and simple. If you're worried about something, then you report it and you go through the proper channels. You don't do crap like this. And
Okay, wait a minute. What is that? Hold on. Lauren Conlon joining me in addition to Saraya's mother.
this is
Lauren
the
Conlon,
engagement
who is he
picture.
and who is she?
Aaron is Saraya's father, and Nadia Cole is his girlfriend who just graduated from the University of Washington.
How I'm looking at her. She's gorgeous, and I'm very curious. Do we have any idea anything about her other than she graduated? She lived at Pullman, right?
Yes, she lived in Pullman, and she lived in the beautiful college town. And as Samara said, she had been dating Aaron for the last 10 months. And as of right now, that is all we know.
Okay, I think that's all I need to know right now. Joining me in all-star panel to make sense of what.
That right there, Red Rock, is where I'm like, what is going on here? Is he telling her stuff? But even if he's, I'm sorry, but if a boy, now we don't know, is there any potential other things going on here? Okay, people have mentioned, is there any DV, this, whatever. We don't know. We don't know. She has. Okay, her life has been ruined by this. And we don't know the whole situation around this whole thing right now. But I'm sorry. Walking away and running away with a child is not right, no matter what. Okay, there's literally no reports. Okay, sometimes you hear people, okay, we've all heard the cases of people who have to make a decision. Do we hear about the underground, okay, programs for when a child is being abused or stuff like that? There's no even reports of stuff like that here. Okay, if you're worried about something, yes, I will say Aaron's sister, when all this came out, started saying, oh, well, she smelled like, okay, a certain type of drug that you can smoke that smells a certain way. And so, but fine. Okay. Why aren't you reporting it? So you jump from not doing anything to running out of the country? It makes no sense whatsoever. You throw on top of it that this little girl is suffering from something that could, I mean, the potential of her becoming septic and stuff. Okay, if the medical care in Mexico, if that's where they are, again, that's where we're being led to think they are, but who's to say they haven't? Who knows what's happened at this point? Okay, in the bushes, how does anybody know that they ran away? That's where, okay, so, and we're going to get through. Sorry, I keep stopping this all the time here. Long story short, he did not return. It looks like he took his dad's car. And if I heard this correctly earlier, the car was seen going into Mexico. But I don't know if they had video of the people in it. That's why they're looking everywhere. And are they actually together? in all honesty, I don't know if there is proof of it. Right now, it's all very, 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 very high coincidence. Okay. To the point where police and everyone is like, no. I mean, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But we don't know. On the other hand, you guys know how I am. We always, okay, we got to hear things. But right now, what we do know is that this baby was not brought back from visitation. Okay. Um, in the bushes, from what I heard, and we'll hear this at the end of this, it sounds to me like FBI may have felt like there was video of the Cadillac, this black vehicle, going out of country, from what I'm understanding from this. We'll see when we get to it. Yeah, there's going to be tons of charges left and right, and I just ruin your lives right away, and it makes no sense. So, but maybe that's good that it makes no sense to me, because it means it's like when we say to each other, okay, I don't understand how someone could do something like that. Well, maybe it's good that we don't understand why they do what they do.
What we know right now, but I want to take
Whoops, sorry,
Samara,
guys.
this is Soraya's mother, back to the moment that she gets a ride to the police station, like she typically does, to pick up her daughter. Okay, tell me what happened at the police station.
So I had been asked if I had been in contact with the Moscow Police Department earlier that day, to which I responded yes.
From Moscow,
in that
Idaho, by
previous
the way.
conversation, they just said they were searching for Aaron in regards to Nadia Cole. In the police station, I was then informed that Nadia was missing, as well as my daughter and her father.
What went through your mind when you heard that, Samara?
I was trying to process everything, because it was a lot of information to dump with 30 seconds, to just kind of let me know that not only is his new girlfriend, who I've never met before, missing, but my daughter is. I fell apart.
Did you have any idea
Oops,
where
sorry.
she was or what had happened?
They had told.
I'm going to stop that right there. Okay, so one of the things I've noticed this does not do is give us some of the dates. So I wanted to let you know there. So Nadia went missing on May 29th. Okay, that's when she was seen leaving to go to the bathroom and not coming back. Seraya was reported missing on June 3rd. So that's why we're hearing that all of a sudden when Samara is saying, well, yeah, they were telling me they were looking for Aaron in connection to his fiance's disappearance. And now all of a sudden the baby's missing too. And so all the stuff starts. That's why it connects, because it's actually a couple days separation between all this coming together. Now, when did Seraya and Aaron actually go missing? A couple days before, almost exactly at the same time as Nadia went missing.
Told me they believed that she went on a camping trip with her dad to Montana. And that still in and of itself made no sense to me. I had no idea where she was. I knew nothing about where she was or how she was doing, anything about that. And they didn't have really any information to answer any questions I had.
So, Lauren Conlon, who spots Seraya with the dad looking for maps and buying camping gear?
To my knowledge, this was seen on camera. And at this point, again, like Samara said, she was very confused, because this was never planned, and Montana is pretty far away here from Pullman and from Idaho. So this was very confusing.
To Dr. Angela Arnold joining us, renowned psychiatrist out of the Atlanta jurisdiction. You can find her at angelaarnoldmd.com. Dr. Angie, thank you for being with us. I mean,
Let's stop right there and bring this back up. So what happened within this, you're hearing about the Montana trip. So this more for those who may not have been there yesterday when we talked about stuff. Here we go. So what happened, and I'm not sure if they bring this up in this interview or not, but during this, at some point before all this, Aaron's family knew that he was going to this fishing trip in Montana. Okay. He told his mom and dad, hey, I'm going on this camping trip. I'm taking Seraya and we're going up on a fishing trip. Fishing, not camping. Fishing trip up to Montana. They have gotten video of him buying, like they said, maps, camping gear, things like that for that trip. What was interesting is this letter. Later on, the family comes in, okay, Soraya's paternal grandmother, grandfather, okay, one of them come in with these notes to the police department. And in these notes, they have this letter. This is the letter that we see on it. And I'm pulling it up so I can actually read it because it's hard to read from there. Okay. But they go and give a couple of these out to people. They give a copy, I guess, to the police. They give a copy to Samara. Samara took a picture of that and shared that out. That's what we've got here. And in that, it said from them, Aaron went on a fishing/camping trip with friends in Montana. He and Seraya were expected back on Sunday afternoon. As of Monday early evening, they were not back. The police in Montana have been notified, as well as Moscow and Pullman. So it looks like they're writing all this after Nadia went missing, because otherwise, why would they have included Pullman in this notification bit? So it sounds like they're trying to, at this point, do documentation of everything. That's what it looks like to me. Then there's one last sentence here, which is what throws people, I think, if anything, based off of the fact that it looks like they're writing this to cover, we contacted all these people and everything. They add in, they may be delayed, giving an excuse why they may not have come back yet. They may be delayed due to weather, equipment, supply issues, or someone sprained an ankle, etc. So that I kind of read that almost as if, okay, they are trying to make sure they dot all their I's, cross all their T's. Okay, so if there is a legal thing, they can say, yeah, we let everyone know and we did this and all. That's almost what it feels like to me. And kind of interesting within that. So I wanted to share that. They went and shared that out with everyone at that point. So I'm not sure if that letter will come up or not in this interview, but that's how I think they found out later on, because the vehicles for both of them have been found. Okay, the vehicles were found. I read in Pullman, but I'm not sure if, or in the area. Okay, but I'm not sure if it's both of them or just one of theirs. However, the vehicle that they were being told about is Aaron's dad's black Cadillac. So my suspicion is Aaron borrowed his dad's black Cadillac. And that's why, okay, at some point, whether the family popped up and said, oh yeah, no, he's in my car, or if it was seen and then later on connected to him. Kind of interesting on that part too. So, okay, let me get us back to where we're here and back to this.
When we say domestic issues, it sounds so warm and cozy like a Hallmark movie, domestic. It's anything but. The reality is that when children are kidnapped or harmed, it's usually by someone that knows them and is related to them. Right now, we have no idea where this 2-year-old girl is. No idea where she really is. All of this plotting and planning and scheming and gnashing of teeth and twisting of tails was done without mommy knowing anything. You think mommy knows daddy was out getting camping gear and maps of Montana?
I don't think he was even in Montana.
H-E-double-L-N-O. No idea. She's sitting there on her little bench at the police station waiting for Seraya to come running through the door, and nothing happens. And the next thing she finds out, daddy's buying camping gear. I mean, how does it go so sideways? And the thought that this girlfriend, the mistress, is part of the plan? I can't wait to get my mitts on these two. Why does it go so sideways, Dr. Angie?
Well, there's so many questions here that are unanswered, Nancy. And I'm sitting here wondering, what were they plotting? Yeah. I do believe the little girl is in danger. What was this man like? What was the biological father like before any of this happened? And what is their intention with this little girl? Of course, I'm thinking the worst. I'm thinking the absolute worst. This man has no boundaries. Why do they have to constantly meet at a police station to exchange the child? So there has to be some level of concern there from the attorney's point of view that they have to meet at a police station. I am so concerned about this little girl and actually his girlfriend. And I would love to know more about who the biological father is. If we could hear more about who he is and what the mother knows about him, I think that that could be very helpful to us.
Dinosaur.
So cute.
Oh, you gave the dinosaur a kiss. You're riding a dinosaur.
So adorable.
Where is 2-year-old Seraya? We now learn there's a possibility she's out what? Backpacking out in the Montana forest, or is she in Mexico? Is she on a flight? Have we been bamboozled? Is she somewhere completely different? The mother shows up. Now imagine this. It's hard for me to imagine because I can't even imagine being away from my twins. The mom has her 5 days, then 2 days, then 5 days, then 2 days. She's a split custody with dad. She has to do the drop off at a police station. Why? I need to know that. Why a police station? Why can't daddy just drop her off at the front door? What?
Yeah.
Anyway, the mom's sitting at the police station waiting, tick tock, no idea anything is wrong. When a cop comes out and says, she's missing, I can imagine the mother's whole world just imploding at that moment. She's missing. With me is Seraya's mother, Samara Harmon. Miss Harmon, what went through your mind and your body when you heard your daughter's missing?
It was like being told every nightmare I've ever had, all of my worst fears, everything evil and terrible about the world was just being thrown at me. That my daughter, my whole world, my everything was nowhere to be seen and completely unaccounted for. I felt that in every inch of my body, every fiber of my being wanted to scream out to find her.
What did you say?
I'm going to pause real quickly. My computer just did a really big, weird glitch. So hopefully you guys are still working with me okay. Let me know if you can't see everything, but I think it's all back to normal.
What did you do?
I immediately fell apart. I was trying to be able to be understood by the officers. I was trying to breathe and kind of talk. I just kept asking, where are they? When I was informed that they could be on a camping trip to Montana, I started asking why.
By the way, love the name Crazy for Reptiles. I've been on a Brian Barczyk kick lately. I've been watching all the stuff from the Reptarium lately. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Back to what I was doing. But yeah, I have a short attention span. Sorry, guys. Thanks for letting me know you guys are still good. Thanks.
Why Montana? Why wasn't I told? Why is this the first time hearing about this? Just every question I could think of, even whether they made sense in that moment or not. I just wanted to know where she was. I wanted to know every bit of information they had.
Ms. Harmon, I'm having questions about why you had to go to a police station to do the swap off with your husband. Why couldn't he just drop Seraya at your front door?
McDonald's.
I had wanted us to do it in a public place for my own feelings of uncertainty and discomfort. So he decided that the police station would be the best bet. Okay. There had been times I'd asked to move it closer to a hotel that was nearby that still had video surveillance and witnesses around, and he only did that one time. Every other time I had to either find a way to get her to the police station or walk her the 30 minutes to get her there.
Okay, you had to walk your 2-year-old daughter 30 minutes for drop off and pick up?
More times than not, yes.
Does your husband have a car?
Yes, he has multiple. And he's not my husband.
Wait. I'm sorry. He has multiple cars, is that what you said?
Yes.
Did he ever explain why he couldn't meet you closer to your home?
He said it was a breach in the parenting plan and that if I wanted to change the drop-off or pickup location to contact his lawyer. When I did that, his lawyer said he no longer represented him and it was between us to figure out.
That's weird.
Joining you right now, a high-profile lawyer out of this jurisdiction, Tara Malik is...
Yeah, that's weird. On my level, I'm like, okay, I can see if someone wanted to have in public, okay, saying, okay, you know what, if we're going to do this, let's do this. Let's have it by the police station so there's security for you, things like that, whatever the reason is. Interesting, though, that she goes and calls the lawyer to get that changed and finds out that he isn't covering. That is interesting there.
Joining us, a named partner in Smith and Malik, a former state and federal prosecutor. Tara, thank you for being with us. That is completely bass-ackwards. Why is the mother being put out in this way? I mean, I got bigger fish to fry right now, Tara, about mainly where is Seraya. It's not a far jump, a far leap of logic to be concerned about Soraya's well-being. If he would make Seraya walk along the side of streets and roads 30 minutes to get to drop off pickup, what else would he do with multiple vehicles? Okay, Tara, how is this okay?
It's not okay. It's absolutely not okay. You know, the custody agreements that talk about the exchange of children have certain conditions in them. That doesn't mean that the parents can't come up with an alternative if it makes sense for the situation, which is what you're talking about here. Why is this little girl having to walk with her mom down a street for 30 minutes and put themselves in danger? We've all heard about accidents and cars going off roads. There's really no reason for this at all. And then to say, talk to my lawyer, but your lawyer no longer represents you,
weird.
just seems like a control technique and a cop out.
Talk to.
Now that's what I'm starting to feel, is I'm wondering if there's some level of control stuff going on. Not sure what you guys, there seems to be definitely a little bit more control focus on things here. I don't know. It's feeling that way though.
To the lawyer. You know, Jason Jensen is joining us, private investigator and cold case expert, co-founder of the Cold Case Coalition, but you can find him at Jensen Private Investigations. Jason, thank you for being with us. About how many of your cases deal with a parent taking off with a child?
You know, it's really quite rare, Nancy. The situation that we're seeing here happens so infrequently, but this is why we have legal provisions out there that are tantamount to kidnapping, that when there is interference like this of a custody provision, they can be charged criminally, because there have been examples where a parent will defy a court order and leave the jurisdiction because they don't want to follow the court orders.
So you're saying that does happen. How often does that happen?
I see 1 in 10,000 maybe, because typically
I find that really hard to believe. To Tara Malik, you know, it seemed to me that domestic disputes often erupt and the child is used as a weapon. How often have you seen that, Tara?
I've seen it really frequently, that the child is used as kind of a pawn between the two parents. Oftentimes you'll see in really acrimonious back and forth and fights between the parents, there'll be all sorts of allegations, including allegations that one parent or the other is sexually abusing the child or abusing the child generally. And so the situation can get really heated. And at the end of the day, it's this poor innocent child who's stuck in the middle of these huge fights that sometimes spill over into courts or sometimes spill into situations like this.
Exactly, Roberta. Exactly. It's so
Lauren
common.
Holland joining us, investigative journalist and host of The Outlier. Lauren, I'm a little confused. Does somebody actually think Nadia Cole went with the bio dad against her will?
Yes, her parents absolutely believe that, but authorities stepped in and they were like, well, it looks like she's leaving the airport not under any type of duress. And just going back to what we know about Nadia.
And that's the problem I'm having, because I look at her and I get what everyone's saying about, okay, her, if they know her and all, but no one was making her leave that area. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I was telling my mom, okay, if I was with my mom at the airport getting ready to go somewhere, and I told mom, hey, I'm going to the bathroom, I'll see you in a bit, and I don't come back, to put my mom through that level of basically torture, okay, of worry and fear and all that other stuff, that is just, I don't know. They know their kids better than and we do know that. Parents know their children better than anyone. But parents also sometimes can be too close to see things. It is weird though. So many of her friends are like, this is so out of it for her. But what are the other dynamics? There's got to be a dynamic here at play.
Her Instagram is interesting because as a 21-year-old, you tend to see a lot more photos. You tend to see a lot more activity on the quote stories. With Nadia Cole's, you really don't see much of it.
Bingo. And no, Mama K, definite. And that's the one thing that I'm having to watch with. Okay. Because as they said, okay, how many times are children the pawn between things going on? We don't know the full story. We really don't know the full story. Okay, there could be things going on. That's why I'm the first one to say, okay, maybe there was something going on. My personal feeling, though, instead of running with the child, it doesn't even look like they ever work. I've seen other cases where a parent runs with a child because they feel they're protecting them from, okay, abuse of some sort. But usually, those cases, that parent has tried everything possible to get around it in other ways. They've tried going through the legal system, they've tried going through all these other different areas, and nothing works. And they honestly see it as, this is my last option. It's my child's well being, or it's this. I don't see that ever happened in this. I don't see any cases of those things. Like I said, the mom actually, okay, I mean, the sister of the brother, the dad, actually did say, oh, yeah, there were issues, but we never, what's weird in this case, nothing was ever heard about until all of this happened. On the other hand, though, okay, were there any reports or anything about Aaron? Okay, any issues with Aaron? It does seem to me like, even, okay, mom said she didn't have proof of any issues going on, okay, and she'd go there and she seemed to like Nadia, in fact, and all that. So, but there could be, you know, the way that I usually see things when there's fights going on, truth is somewhere in the middle. And that's why, for example, when I listen to interviews, I have to realize, you know what, sometimes interviews are also, you got to realize we're seeing one person's version of the truth. Okay, and that might be exactly what it is. On the other hand, it could honestly be something else. And yeah, that's true. Courts very rarely side with the dad. My big question is, why is dad that was one of my questions, honestly. Mama K, thank you. Someone did mention that. Actually, I was wondering if someone would point that out. Why? Okay, mom made, okay, so, Samara made the comment, I want to meet somewhere publicly, which I think is totally, utterly valid. Okay, if I was in that position too, I would want to meet in some place valid. We do know, and we don't know, were there other control issues in the past? Were there other issues? Was there any DV going on? All those things are important. We don't know the truth about those, or if they even existed, to be honest. And so, yeah, and that's exactly, Mama K, exactly. You have to see. It's one reason why I've considered becoming CASA. You have to be able to realize and see the truth is going to come somewhere in the middle here. So I see her saying, yes, I want to meet somewhere in public. I see that 100%. Why would he then take the next step of saying, okay, we're going to be in public. I want it to be at a police station? What is the reasoning behind wanting it at the police station? Was it fear that, many different options, okay? Could be fear of, because I know, okay, I've had friends who've had problems, okay, where all of a sudden, okay, one person would sit and try to say so and so did something. Well, if it's at the police, it's a little harder to say someone did something that they didn't do it. On the other hand, could it be that? Could it be control? Okay. But why at a police station for the control versus saying, okay, well, I want to go to this restaurant, because unless it was literally right next door to his house or something like that. A lot of questions, and it could be. That's honestly part of what I was thinking right there. Honestly, Mama K, I'll be honest with you guys, that's kind of where I was thinking. The only thing that really made sense to me why at the police station would be, it was a way of protecting himself from false accusations and all. I can see the control stuff because there's some other things in here that make me think he does have some control potential. Okay. But again, in all honesty, in anything in life, it's like me and my mom. When me and my mom get in a fight, very seldom are either one of us completely innocent at things. And I'm not trying to make mom look bad or dad look bad or anything like that. We're human. As humans, interpersonal interaction is always rife with arguments. Okay, very seldom do I go more than a day or two without mom and I getting into some sort of fight. Okay, and yet I adore her and love her and would never want to live anywhere else but being with her and spending my life, okay, these last few years with her. And so, yeah, looking at those things are, there's a lot of, but I do still feel there's something else going on because I can't quite figure out the Nadia side of it. I think there's some interpersonal interactions that we don't, and we don't know any of these people. We don't know any of them. We are here for one reason, which is getting the word out so Seraya can get home safe. That's all that honestly matters to me. Okay, if anyone ends up in jail afterwards or things like that, that whatever. Okay, Seraya needs to be safe. Seraya needs to be home, wherever that home ends up being. Okay, it needs to be a place where we know that she will be safe and get medical care when she needs medical care. Okay, and no one has to worry about things. It seems like a loving parent could be happy anywhere with CCTV. Yeah, well, and honestly, the part about having to walk is an issue for me. If he had multiple cars, okay, maybe though he offered a car but she didn't have insurance. I don't know. We don't know all those stories. Our minds go in this direction or that direction, but we don't know. It could be something with that. I did find it, one of the comments that was said is that Samara made a comment that he would sometimes not show up, but once they started being at the police station, he always showed up. So there I start wondering, where is the truth behind that? On what side? Okay, whatever. Or is that the reason why he wanted to be there so everyone would know? CCTV, the problem, especially with CCTV, a lot of times is it's not always there when you need it. We saw that recently just with Caleb. Okay, no CCTV when you needed it. But yeah, she needs right now her big concern. I am so worried about her with that. I know it doesn't sound like much. Oh, it's a child with constipation. No, it's a child with constipation that's at a point where the doctors are saying if they don't find a solution and have them, okay, get it treated, that she could develop sepsis. There's more to the issue going on. Okay, there could be medicines going on. There needs to be hydration going on. There needs to be the right food. There could be medicines. So many different things. But I think what is important is just knowing what matters right now is Seraya. Plain and simple. And making sure they get home. And I will be honest, I worry about all of them right now in Mexico. Okay, I'm sorry, I just do.
Anything. You only really see one picture of her and Aaron, so she's kind of a mystery here. But that is correct. She left the airport, left her luggage, and her parents believe she is missing and could possibly be in danger.
Well, so she is in danger.
The dad is spotted there buying maps, buying camping equipment. When is he spotted next, Lauren?
So he technically has not been spotted. There was a Cadillac STX with an Idaho license plate on its way to Mexico at the border, and Nadia's car and Aaron's vehicle stayed in Pullman. There have been reports that this vehicle might be tied to Aaron's father, but that is not yet confirmed. It is just tied to a close family member.
Okay, so that clarifies that. All those questions that were popping up. Both vehicles, personal vehicles for Aaron and Nadia, were found in Pullman. The vehicle, the black Cadillac, is potentially Dad's, but has not been verified. But it was seen entering Mexico. What I do find interesting is there's no pictures being shared. Did they see in the vehicle? Or was it just, I don't know. I don't know with that. What we got here, Red Rock. Walmart has helped me solve some crimes not related to their store. Good cameras. See, and that's good to know. That's good to know, okay, what places you can depend on and what places you can't. Because unfortunately, CCTV is not equal across the board. And but that is good to know. If you have a problem in your area, Okay, and if it's near Red Rocks. Oh my God. I'm looking at Red Rocks. If it's near Walmart, contact them. Yeah, contact Red Rock also. Yeah, totally, totally. So
Lauren Collin, do you believe that the sightings in and around the airport were an attempt to throw everyone off?
Ooh, that's
it's
interesting.
an interesting.
You know, it's possible. If Nadia is as calculated as Aaron, then absolutely. If she actually were to trick her parents into think that she's going to go on this family trip to Italy, and then she really has this ulterior motive of leaving the country with Aaron and, you know, little Seraya, I mean, that's very calculated. I could absolutely see that happening.
Wow.
Now, tell me about the trip to Italy.
This was just a family trip. I assume it was to celebrate her graduation because she did just graduate from the University of Washington at Pullman. So I just assumed it was her family celebrating and taking her away.
I want to go back to Samara Harmon.
She would have had her passport.
Soraya's mother. Samara, I know that the bio dad was spotted buying maps and camping equipment. Did you ever know him to be an outdoorsman?
No, when I knew him, he was not. He was more of a germaphobe and would rather stay inside than go out. I tried to get him engaged in fishing. It's an activity I like to do, but he never really took any interest in it. So when I knew him, no, it was not something he was known to do. It was not something I heard him even show any interest in.
When you said germaphobe, why do you say that? What makes you think the bio dad is a germaphobe?
He needed everything to be super neat and tidy. He was the kind of person that when he wasn't out doing something for a job, if he got his hands dirty, he'd have to wash them. Even if he pet his dog or went outside taking Seraya to the park with us, he'd need to go and immediately wash his hands. He always kept hand sanitizer. He had told me himself he was a germaphobe.
Okay, to you, Dr. Angie, what is that?
Well, it shows that he needs a lot of control around him. He probably has other symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder because of, and that is all, Nancy, for him to have control of whatever is going, that he can't control, of what's going on through his own head. Okay. It's a form of anxiety, but it has a lot to do with his need for control.
Back to you, Samara. Why did you believe that?
Exactly, Roberta. And I had heard something about, him actually, I hadn't heard the word germaphobe, but not liking camp, and which is also interesting because it's the same with Nadia from what I've been seeing too. Nadia has posted stuff about camping, but it doesn't seem to be really camping. It's more like glamping. Okay, so interesting on that. And more on the OCD side control. But guys, I will be honest with you, okay? That's one thing that a lot of people, when you don't have control over something in your life, and that literally can't, yeah, Monk. Oh my God, Monk was, yep. Love Monk. And when you don't have your child at all times, or you've lost a job, and not saying he's lost a job, but any of those big life changes can push those control issues also. But it does definitely show some, it might also explain though why he was so focused on, we have to follow the court order, the parental agreement or whatever it's called, so closely. Because if he's the type of person that everything, is OCD control, everything goes organized and all that, he might be less able to think outside of the box, as if like, okay, yeah, no, we'll go ahead and we'll just change this, you and me, and do this. He might feel like, oh, no, this is a court order. I have to do it this way. Now, again, we get back to the problem. Well, why is his lawyer saying he's still not covered? Okay, that doesn't make sense there. And but interesting there.
And he originally had planned to go on this camping trip, which is totally uncharacteristic in Montana, the backwoods of Montana.
I don't think
did you have contact with his family, his parents, for instance?
The only contact we had was when I let them know about my daughter's medical condition at that point, and they were very brief and vague with their responses. They did not inform me he was going on any trip. I was not let known or aware until they told me she had not made it home.
I thought that they told you he took her fishing at Flathead Lake, Montana for the week.
The police were the ones who told me that, and his parents showed
Okay.
up to the police station with a handwritten note that stated that,
The
but I
note.
never heard
Okay.
from them specifically before she was reported missing or anything, not even after.
Wow.
Okay, let me understand what you just said. You said his parents, the Aung parents, show up with a handwritten note. What handwritten note? That he was going to Montana, Flathead Lake for a week.
There's the note I
They
read
showed
to
up
you.
to the police station maybe 2 to 5 minutes after I was informed my daughter and Aaron were missing, with a handwritten note that stated they went to Montana for a camping/fishing trip and they may be delayed due to weather, supply issues, or someone sprained an ankle.
That sounds like a lot of BS to me. Someone sprained an ankle, weather problems, supply of what? Jason Jensen, private investigator. Why did they bring a handwritten note saying he went camping in Montana where we all know now he's not in Montana?
One of the concerns that I have in light of this revelation was Seraya injured in some capacity, and now that this is consciousness of guilt to flee the country, or are they fleeing with Seraya because there was a complete disregard for the maternal role, of the mother being involved in raising this child?
Back to you, Lauren Collin. I want to make sure I understand.
I don't know about that. It's a good thought. Why would they throw in break an ankle or something? Did something happen and they were just using, okay, this was a way to kind of change the focus so that they could have more control over that? Or was it truly just wanting the attention? Aaron's like, this is my child. I'm having, okay, or saving or whatever his reasoning is. And, um, definitely interesting. It could be interesting. Could that be what pushed with Nadia? Did something happen and that's why Nadia maybe got a phone call and left quickly with something that still feels weird there. I'm trying to figure out this whole thing. Oh gosh, the thought that anyone could be so calculated just rubs me wrong. And even though I know there are people who are that calculating, but it just rubs me so wrong.
These facts. This woman, the mistress, Nadia Cole, just graduated Washington State. Okay. She planned to take the LSAT and go to law school. That's my understanding about her. She worked with her mom for over a year to plan a trip to Italy. And then she spotted at the SeaTac airport with her family, to catch that flight to Italy, May 29. They all make it to the gate. She leaves her luggage with them, says she's got to go to the bathroom. And then she just leaves. And there she is. She spotted leaving the airport at 3 p.m. We know that the mistress boards a light rail train to downtown Seattle, looking distressed. Now, I don't know how they can tell she looks distressed in that picture.
Yeah.
But if I left my whole family at the gate with my luggage, I would be distressed too. She gets off the train near University Avenue, downtown Seattle. Yeah. That's a 4.5-hour drive to Pullman. Now, I believe that she then rendezvous with Biodad and they leave with Seraya. That's what I think happened. We also know her car is unaccounted for. Aang's car is unaccounted for. And we think we know that they were.
That doesn't make it, because a few minutes ago she said that both cars are accounted for. Did I hear that correct, guys? Let me know if I heard that, misunderstood that. I thought they said just a few minutes ago that both vehicles had been accounted for in Pullman. And but the Cadillac is the one that they're looking for.
In a 2014 black Cadillac. Idaho tag 1L5147 Utah. What can you tell me about what I have just recited that I'm learning from police?
This all is correct as of right now, as of today. And as you stated, it's very confusing that they believe she was in duress or she was under duress when she left, because you can't tell. There also have been reports that she left her cell phone there, which makes me believe that, again, this was planned. She knew what she was going to do, and she didn't want anyone to find her or anyone to ping her phone.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this much, Tarmac. It'll be a cold day in HELL. This woman gets into law school if she's part of a custodial interference in taking this child away from her mother. That's not.
It would be interesting, especially if she left her cell phone there, if they could track any burner phones. Did she or him at any time buy burner phones? I know it's harder to find that unless you just happen to find the video footage of them doing it. because that would make sense. Leave the phone there because you know they're going to be able to track you through the phone. Now, what did pop up is also the earbud bit. Somehow she left her earbuds at the airport and someone grabbed the earbuds and took them to they tried to steal them, I guess, from my understanding. Okay, if I'm hearing this correctly. And when they were later pinged and found where they were, they found out the person's like, oh no, I found these over at the airport and all. So, but other than maybe she dropped them thinking, oh shoot, they can track these too. Interesting thought within that.
Not happening. If I have to see to it myself, you are not going to be an officer of the court after you have taken part in this.
Something
If
like this.
in fact she did, no way.
Yeah, you're exactly right. These are extraordinary
No one will.
circumstances. And to be an attorney, as you know, Nancy, you have to go through a character and fitness portion of the application. So if you've got something like this on your record, if she did in fact do this and she planned it and she planned to interfere with this child's mother's custodial rights, absolutely not. I would think that that certainly would not pass any sort of character and fitness analysis.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Dr. Angie
There's no
Arnold,
way.
this is not like somebody shoplifting when they're 15 years old and stealing some Maybelline mascara at the Walgreens. That's not what we're talking about. This is custodial interference. And that's certainly a euphemism, putting the perfume on the pig. Custodial interference. That doesn't even sound that bad. Did you see the mother? Did you hear her say what went through her mind and body when she finds out her daughter Seraya is gone? Her whole life is a child. And Montana fishing, camping, BS.
No,
and this
I don't
girl,
think-
Dr. Angie, this girl, just as bad. She leaves her whole family waiting to get on a plane to Italy. Her whole family, her mother, her father, the whole kit and caboodle with her luggage. And she takes off to meet this no good bio dad.
Right. And for what purpose? I mean, Nancy, what kind
Let's see here. Mama K saying also, mom said at the beginning that his parents told her he took daughter to Montana, and then said, please. Yeah, I caught a couple of those things too, and I'm not sure how much of that is stories maybe not jiving or just the confusion of things, because it's not just that there's been a few other things that Nancy, for example, knows about. Okay, for example, I don't know if it's popped up yet, but there is one point where she mentions that he had actually said at one time that I know people who will make sure you never see Seraya again. And you could see Nancy trying to get that bit of information back out of her so she doesn't have to volunteer the information herself. And could that be that she's just being on national TV is something so confused? Okay, it's daunting. It's daunting. It's daunting just doing this, to be honest, at times. Okay, but definitely on nationwide TV. So is it that, or is it a separate story, a different type of story? It could be either. And that's the thing. That's where the CASA side of you, Mama K, for example, is looking at those things. Okay, you have to keep your eyes open and you have to be able to analyze all the information in front of you. Okay, and I usually say it to people that, you know what, I don't judge people based off of something, but I'll remember bits of information and I put it in the back of my head in a little file cabinet in the back of my head. So later on, I could pull it out and say, okay, wait, now this is connecting in this way or whatever. So I don't immediately let it make a decision for me, but I keep it in the back of my mind. That way, if it needs to pull up, it's right there. So
of hold
it is
does this kid have
confusing.
over these people,
It
right?
truly is,
I just don't
Linus.
understand it. And I'll tell you something, Nancy. This is just the beginning of this story. There is so much more that has
There's
to be
a
dug
hell of a
under to
lot
find out
more.
what's really going on. I'm very worried about the little girl and where she is.
That's my issue.
There he is, guys. Look at him. Aaron Ong. 5'9", 135 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If he will take this child, kidnap Seraya to Mexico after this elaborate plan, faking out his own parents, faking out the mistress's family, what else will he do?
Is he willing to?
We've got a big, big problem. In addition to us now believing that Seraya has been kidnapped to Mexico, which is a whole nother can of worms. It's one thing if she's in Montana.
Right.
It's a whole
should have
nother
been
search
Canada
technique
instead of,
trying to
yeah.
find her and bring her home from Mexico. But now, to top it all off, we find out Seraya has a condition that can quickly put her into sepsis. I sadly know way too much about sepsis. Well, Dr. Angie Arnold, you die. You can die from sepsis.
My
Very,
dad did
very
die of
easily
sepsis.
explain.
Well, Nancy, sepsis means that that all of your organs get infected. Okay, so I wonder if if they've determined that she has some sort of problem with her kidneys at this young age, and so they've got her on some sort of medication to help whatever organ is debilitated in a way that if something happens, her whole body could become septic. Okay. But Nancy, think of everything that means. That means that he has to be giving her water appropriately and feeding her appropriately, as well as giving her the medication that has been prescribed. So if this little girl does become septic, septicemia is something that can kill you within hours to days. Okay. So we're also assuming that that he would be able to recognize the signs of septicemia and get her to a proper hospital situation where she could be taken care of appropriately wherever she is. Okay. So yes, this is a very dire situation. Okay.
Dr. Angie, I know you and I have talked about this before, but my brother-in-law was in the hospital being IV'd with all sorts of antibiotics, everything you can imagine, and passed away with sepsis. Okay.
Yes. And she's a little 2-year-old girl.
Even in a hospital setting, much less on the run in the back of a black Cadillac in Mexico. I mean, okay, let me understand right now. Guys, the very latest is that the FBI is now working with local police trying to find Seraya. Back to Seraya's mom, Samara Harmon. What are cops telling you about Mexico as a possibility?
They just said that they had seen the vehicle that's registered to the family crossing the border. They have informed me that, well, specifically the FBI has informed me that even with this sighting, they are still searching everywhere. They are leaving no stone unturned. They aren't completely sold on any theory. They're following the evidence, and it hasn't made them 100% believe in one direction or not. But they are searching high and low across the globe for my daughter.
The FBI plus Moscow police are now helping Pullman police find this girl. Why? Because her life is in danger. Not only is she with a bio dad who is willing to do any.
Yeah, that's my hope. They are 50-50. Okay, they're 50 half. So he has her for long enough times that hopefully he knows what is normal behavior for her and what is not normal behavior for her. I'm not sure how long this was happening, because it sounds like what mom is saying that she had been telling his parents about it. So whether or not they were able to pass the information on to him, because from what I've read with this sepsis connection is tied to her and constipation. And so yeah, definitely, I mean, something that could build up quickly and she can go from one thing to another. What worries me again though with Mexico is what is the health care going to be like there, especially if they are trying to stay under the radar. Okay, do you necessarily want to take a child to the ER anywhere? Okay, knowing that people may be looking for you. And so hopefully he can, if there is an issue, he'll recognize it and act on it right away. Hopefully, though, he knows how to take care of her to begin with. And as for Nadia, hopefully Nadia, one other thing that's always people say, Nadia doesn't have a lot of pictures out and stuff like that. To me, that screams someone who's focused on school and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, prayers, exactly. Red Rock, that's exactly. It's hopefully he recognized, and if not, if he didn't know about it, maybe they are watching and listening to things on the internet, and at least we'll know now. And because if it is connected to constipation and stuff like that, diet becomes extremely important at that point.
Anything to hurt the mother, to get the child, she has a very serious life-threatening issue with the possibility of septicemia hanging over her head at just 2 years old. Do you remember when Mommy talked about how she would kick and scream and she had to go with Daddy? How she would run to Mommy at the trade-off every 5 days, run to Mommy? And now she's last seen in a black Cadillac crossing the Mexican border. Ms. Harmon, you stated that you were the one that wanted a public pickup drop-off swap for your own safety. Why?
Because of situations that he'd said or stated things in a way that would
That's
manipulate
good
me
news.
or kind
Thank
of
you
make
for
me
letting
think
me
one
know
way
that,
when he
Red
meant
Rock.
it
That
another.
actually helps.
Times when he
Thank
would
you.
kind of try to weaponize her, and I wanted video surveillance of every like every time she'd been dropped off, every time I'd handed her over, so he couldn't try and claim something that I knew to be false.
Like when you say things he had said made you want to do the swap off in public, what things did he say? What concerns you the most?
Just he knew exactly how to get to me. He knew what to say to scare me and make me think one thing over another. He knew me very well, and I didn't want to be
like what? Explain to me, what did he say to make you afraid?
There had been a lot of things he'd said throughout our relationship about how he had connections, so I'd never get to see her again, and he would bring things up like that all the time to try and use them against me and make me not want to say anything about our relationship or any of my fears or concerns.
He actually told you.
That's the part I was mentioning earlier, that so the question there comes, is it something that's just in the back of her head, but she's not putting it all together in the moment, because it is a daunting thing being interviewed like this. The one thing I can guarantee you in this case is both of these parents were fighting with each other about custody. I guarantee you this was a nightmare of a custody. Maybe not as nightmarish as a lot of the other ones we see, but it had the potential to become very quickly. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that we don't hear more issue surrounding the custody side of it, because it feels like something that both of them, okay, because again, why would he say the police station as compared to just saying, okay, well, let's go exchange outside of 7-Eleven because there's a camera there? Was it control just to say, hey, now you have to get there on your own? Okay, or was it because he wanted to make sure he had police around at any time? I don't know. Okay, what do we got here? Maybe he took her to Mexico for treatment. And that's possible, Mama Kay. Very possible. Always possible. My whole thing does come back there, though. If you're trying to get treatments or things like that and everything, then you go about it the right way. Especially when you know it's now been how many days, weeks? Oh, well, week, a little over a week. And I could see that being a thought process, but going about it this way, involving, because it was definitely well thought out. Whatever happened, no matter what happened, it was well thought. Okay, getting a vehicle that was different from your own vehicle. Okay, going up, okay, and getting the stuff in Montana. It doesn't sound like there's other pictures of him and her in Montana other than to buy the actual camping equipment. There's nothing else after that. So definitely possible, but my gut wants to say that it's more of something else on that case. But you got to be open to all the possibilities, of course, always, always.
He could fix it with his quote connections, that you would never see Seraya again. He said that to you?
Yes, and I've had people witness this. This was when we were still in a relationship, so this was well over a year ago, but it was something I still very much feared every day.
And that I get. The only thing I'm not sure on with that is because now we don't know. We don't know because we haven't heard from his family about this side of it. But she mentioned that it almost sounds like this was a newer type thing, which is also okay. That's something that was just starting to happen. I do have to say this. I find it very interesting. We keep hearing about the medical side of this. Yet I'm not seeing much push on that in the alerts and everything. You know how usually when you have someone go missing that has a medical condition, it's the highlight of everything that's being discussed. I haven't seen that quite as much in this case. Okay, which is if it was a type 1 diabetic, it's like they need life-saving medication, things like that. You're not getting that as much in this case, unless I'm missing it, which is very possible. Um, but it almost sounds like she was even at one point saying that he didn't know about it. She was sharing the information with her in-laws. Um, but they never said anything back about how okay they were out camping or anything. All of that happened at the same time. So there's definitely some things here that are playing around in the back of my head too. I'm not going to lie about that. But again,
Samara,
the
what are
baby
police telling
needs to be
you
here,
about
not
FBI,
there.
Pullman, Moscow police efforts to find your daughter in Mexico? What are they doing?
They, like I said, they're leaving no rock unturned. They can't afford to make any theories at the moment, so they are following the evidence. They are searching high and low across the globe, not in just one singular area. They have spread out agents far and wide, searching every nook and cranny to find her.
How close is the bio dad to his parents?
From what I witnessed, they were very close. When I lived with him, we would frequently go over to his parents' house for dinner, or go out to dinner with them, or even have them over to our apartment to eat dinner. I know that he worked for his dad's business, so they were in contact every day, multiple times a day. And he was the kind of guy when something went wrong, or he was upset, or even felt sick, he called his mom. They were all very close.
If you want to find this little girl,
What was that? Sorry, I was looking something up. How much did the in-laws have her during dad's? That I've wondered. That I've wondered. Because honestly, we don't know what Seraya crying and stuff like that really means. We don't. Okay. Anyone who has ever seen the difference between mom versus dad or dad versus mom or things like that. Okay. How many times do couples be like, yeah, they'll go with that one all the time. They never want to see me, but they'll do. Okay, so we've got to be realistic there. We don't know what that means. It could mean abuse or something, but we don't know. But I also have wondered, okay, did he live with them? Because she also did make the comment that sometimes it was him picking up, but sometimes it was his family who picked her up. So how much did that care cross things? That Red Rocks was actually a very good question I've been thinking of. By the way, I'm looking for the poster on NCMEC to check something out right now too. Here we go.
hear me, FBI, Pullman, and Moscow. If you want to find this girl, find the bio dad. If you want to find the bio dad, go to his parents. Wiretap, phone tap, intercept messages. That's how you're going to find this little girl, and every minute counts for so many reasons. If you know or think you know anything about missing Seraya, call 800-225-5324. Repeat, toll free, 800-225-5324. We stop to remember American hero Sergeant.
Okay, so there we go. By the way, I was looking to see if I could find the NCMEC poster. That was the end of that interview, which actually was a pretty good one. It's always kind of interesting looking at the interviews with Nancy. Okay, definitely. I always love listening to what other professionals have to say, like therapists or investigators and things like that. It's always interesting to see what happens there. I was looking for her NCMEC poster because I know they said they put her there. I'm not having anything pop up yet, which means I'm looking at it wrong. Let's try Moscow, Idaho instead and see what pops up. And also, oopsie, I just hit Hawaii instead. That was not right. And I want to see real quickly because that medical thing has always kind of gotten me, and I'm not sure if I'm missing that. Is it in all the paperwork and I'm just not seeing it or what? So let me just see. Moscow, Idaho. Yeah, nothing's okay. I'm gonna have to look that up on my own time, even pulling up uh, a search under Moscow, Idaho is not coming up with anything either right now. So we will have to see what happens. It's there somewhere. And also, yeah, definitely a lot of interesting questions. Definitely a lot of interesting questions that need to be looked at. Um, I don't know. I'm actually, there's Elijah, trying to see if there's any other pictures. I know what she looks like here. Is she right here on the front? No, she's not right on the front. Sorry, I'm just still here on NCMEC looking on their top 10 people right now. There's nothing, she's not showing up on the top 10. You know, the picture where they have that. So I'll have to look. She's got to be there somewhere and I'll have to see because that's always kind of gotten me. Let me do that family abduction, see if it pops up there. No, nothing there. So anyhow, I'll take a look at that because that has been something. But yeah, no, this was the note that we're talking about, just for those of you. The one big positive I do see is that it looks like she really liked Nadia. Okay, for her to on her own make a comment to her mom about missing Nadia, that is good. That is good. We do have to look at those. No matter what, though, and this is where the whole thing comes down to, is no matter what is behind this or what the reasons are or anything, okay, having her on the run is not safe. This little girl is not safe right now. Okay, being on the run, whether it is, okay, not maybe getting care that you would normally want to get because you're trying to stay underneath, okay, the underneath everything, to the fact that if they are in Mexico, I mean, there's always, I'm not saying Mexico is horrible. Hell, I used to love going to Mexico all the time. But you also got to realize when you're on the run, things happen much more often. And that's what worries me right now with actually all three of these people. Their lives are in danger right now. They need to be home. This little baby needs to be home. If there's an issue that they're worried about, if dad's worried about something, deal with that issue. Bring her home and deal with that issue. And don't keep her out there where she's in danger. That's my problem. Plain and simple. And how you doing, my dear Robin, with the purple hearts? I love my purple. So, but anyhow, hey, for those of you who hung out with me for this has been a 2-hour, 15-minute live, so it's been a long live. But I really wanted to get through everything because it's not only these three missing, but it was Maria who we went over at the beginning. So for those of you who are here now who were not at the beginning, please go back and look at the press conference with Maria Gomez-Perez. That 12-year-old most likely was lured and could possibly be being trafficked right now. I think that is pretty evident from listening to the police where their thought is right now. They're very nervous about things. So if you guys can help us out with getting her story out. As I told mom today when we were going over what is an algorithm and all that, guys, the algorithm is set up in such a way that it depends on people liking things, hitting the thumbs up, sharing stuff out. It makes the difference when you do that because YouTube decides this is now an important thing. It doesn't matter what it's about, but in their eyes, it's important. Whether it's the latest TikTok dance craze, or it's the latest drama, or it's the latest missing person case. That's how it decides what to share things out. So if you guys can help me and share those things out, share it all out. I am, just so you guys know, I mentioned this yesterday. I have recently taken a bunch of my cruise last year when I went on the cruise of the Mediterranean. I had a bunch of members only videos during that cruise. I made them public because I'm getting ready to go on another cruise and I'm excited and I'm telling people about the cruise and I realize some people are not members, so they didn't get to see last year. So this way I can share with you guys how fun that cruise was. And I will be going on this time to Iceland. wait. And I'm hoping to do the same thing. So I'm hoping to actually do, okay, every day a live stream or at least an upload. If I can't live stream it, upload at least daily. So I can let you guys know what's been going on and show you guys the views. Maybe I'll get to see the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. Just so much fun. So, but if you guys can help me in sharing this all out, thank you all so much for who came in and helped. I mean, I had some amazing people helping out. Butterfly, thanks for letting me know. Red Rock, thanks for talking to us about stuff. BC, Mama K, thanks so much for joining in today. I really appreciated talking with you, and it makes it so much more fun when I can talk with you guys. Okay, yeah, I can talk and never shut up. Trust me, I'm good at it. I'm good at talking. Yeah, my mom says too much, but yeah. And but it's so much nicer when I can kind of talk back and forth with you guys. So thank y'all so much. Wednesday is tomorrow. I don't know if Sleuth and I will be back tomorrow or not. It doesn't, the Missing in America post. See, and that's what's, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say that, but that is something that's kind of frustrating me right now. Is that the seriousness that we're being let? I don't ever want to downplay something. I don't ever want to downplay something, especially healthcare wise. But I'm like, is it just because it's not being mentioned, or is it because I don't know. Anyhow, thank you for coming, my dear. Thank you so much for coming. And I am going to go make myself some dinner at 6:21 here in Hawaii. For those of you in the Eastern time zone, it's 12:21, 6-hour difference. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow live, Sleuth and I. If not, we'll see. Maybe I can figure out a way to come find something to talk about, and we can come talk again tomorrow. So love each and every one of you. I will talk to y'all later. I'd let you say goodnight to the dog, but they all abandoned me except for Pia, who is sleeping right over there. Say night, Pia. Pia must have jumped on top of my diamond paintings right there. So God help me. I better go check those out. Aloha all. Love you guys. Mahalo. Talk to you